guys, it's Beverly. Okay, day 31 of Crochet Kitchen Cotton Month. Today, my version of the hanging towel. I'm going to be inserting a clip with these hanging on my stove. And I wanted to talk about the patterns. Now these towels I just got at the Dollar Tree. And I like these because for some reason they don't feel so painted on. You know, some of the designs you can feel that they're painted on. But this towel only cost $1 at the dollar store or the Dollar Tree. And I saw on the internet that they have a whole ensemble, because you can get the hot pad as well as the oven mitt. Okay, so what I do with this is I take my towel and I cut it in half, so I end up with two. And in this video near the end, I tell you how you can do it if you don't want to cut your towel in half. Some people like to have both towels, you know, and you get more dryness. Okay, now, so the pattern that I use to attach the towel, I'm going to be inserting photographs of how I cut my towel and seam it here. I fold it over. If you can see, I fold it over because I don't want a raw edge. And it's fine if you guys do a raw edge. Just fold it over a couple times if you can when you go to poke it through. Okay, in the tutorial I'm going to show you how I get my little seam across the top so that I can start crocheting. Now there's going to be also a link to a tutorial to show you how to do the blanket stitch, and that's that first row of stitching before you start crocheting. Then as far as the towel topper itself goes, I use acrylic yarn. And in this case, I think it's Red Heart. And this one, it's Premier Basic. And you'll see this in the video. I followed this pattern for the topper by Lenysa, Lenysa. And then for the blanket stitch, I follow DIY crochet for the edging on the towel. And that's a YouTube video. Now both of these are YouTube videos. And what I basically do is I wrote the pattern out myself. And I'm going to copy and paste this in the description of the video. But I use both of these ladies to refresh my memory, because I don't make these all the time. And they refresh my memory. Now this pattern is not Lindsay's pattern. This is my version of her pattern. I don't do as many rows as she does. And I think that might be the difference, is I don't do as many rows as she does. So I'm going to copy and paste this, my version. But what I do, like I said, I have these two links. I'm going to link on the bottom to their YouTube videos to refresh my memory on how I do my towel. And if there's something that I don't make clear in my video tutorial that you're going to see it right after this, then you can go to one of these two ladies and they'll give you their version. Okay, so here's my towel toppers all finished. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. I've got lots of comments. The comments kind of tapered off towards the end of the month, so you must have got a little tired of me. But tomorrow is going to be September 1st, and I'm going to do a video about my podiversary. We're going to have a drawing. And it's going to be for subscribers only, so I'm not going to put it in the description of the video or the title of the video, because I want one of my subscribers to win the gift. And I'll be showing tomorrow what that gift is going to be, and we'll have a drawing, and you'll comment on that video the September 1st video, and the drawing will be on September 3rd to celebrate my podiversary. And also 600 subscribers. I think I got about 610 subscribers right about now. And so when we get there, that's what'll be going on. So bye, guys. Love you guys. Bye. Tell your friends to subscribe. Buy some yarn for Premiere. I've got a $3 check now coming. Love you guys. Bye. Okay, guys. Now here's the towel that I showed you, and I gotta put the button on it. But this is my hanging towel, and I'm glad I decided to do the white one in the tutorial instead of this navy, because it's coming out dark on my camera. Okay, so here you saw that. So I'll get rid of the navy yarn, and then we have our towel. Okay, so as you can see from the pictures and then earlier, this is how I did my towel. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can roll this over and press it if you want. And as I said, I cut the towel in half. And you could seam this by hand, or you could just fold it over as you go. Okay. Okay, so I went and got my scissors, and here's my Premiere Basic yarn that I'm going to use in the white color. I guess it says white. Yeah, it says white. And my needle, I don't want to lose my needle. Okay, so I got the center pole going for myself. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to cut some yarn. Oh, probably 36 inches is good. So I'm going to cut this. And then I'm going to take my needle and thread my needle. So I'm going to pause it. Okay, I got this needle threaded. And the reason I picked this needle is because it has a bigger head for the yarn, but it's thinner. The tip of the point of this isn't that good or sharp, so that would have been better. I think this is a cross stitch needle. Whoop, almost spilled my iced tea here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a knot. I'm not making any big deal. Got to move my furls hook out. I'm making noise on the table. And then what I do is I take the towel, so let me find the right end. And I'm going to turn the towel, sorry for all the fiddling. And what I like to do, now the tutorial that I'm going to attach, or the video I'm going to attach, she has you come in down here and then pull the loop up. Well, I do it a little bit different. Okay, I come in like this, and I got a knot in my yarn, so I'm going to pull it up. And see, the hardest part is getting over these two strands. And I'm not going to let you see me struggle. For most of this, I'll be taking it out. Now, I pull it in. You saw how I did it. It's in the end. And then what I like to do is take my needle and push it in. Like so. And then I come over about as wide as a stitch might be. And see how it went through really easy with this needle. But getting these two strands of yarn through that same hole. Now, I don't use a crochet hook, which I could. One of those. To make your hole bigger. I just usually struggle. As you can see. So I don't want you to have to see me struggle. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I got it through. And then I take my needle and I go up through that hole and I just pull it. And then that gives me my stitch right along the top. So then I go right across here into what would be like a stitch length. And we can rummage it around a little bit. Ooh, see, that one went through really easy. So some go through easy, some I have to struggle. And so before I pull it all the way up tight, I stick my needle through, I pull it up, and I move over here to the next one to what would be like a stitch length. And see, I'm gonna move it around a little bit. And yes, if you have a metal crochet hook, see now it went through there good. So the majority of it, you won't have that much to struggle with, okay? So that you can see, I got my loops going across the top. So that's the plan. And I don't count them. See, that one's a little more struggly. Is that a word? And I'm going to pull this. And then I'm going to go up through. And I'm making my stitches along the edge. And this is called the blanket stitch. And the video that I'm going to attach will show you how to do this. But this is the way I do it. Okay, so I'm going to finish going across, and I'll meet you guys back. Okay, so I pretty much got to the end of my yarn. Now, my last one, I had a longer piece, and I just turned it around and started using it for my towel. But in this case, if you get it close like I did, I think what we can just do is just kind of anchor it off, and then we'll worry about weaving it in later. But what I did with mine was my longer one, I just whipped it around and used it as the beginning of my topper. Okay, so I got my hook. The pattern she was for an H hook, but I'm going to use an I because that's what the yarn calls for. Okay, so I did my slip knot, and I'm going to turn the towel over, and whether I was using this or if I was using this, I would just chain, just come right over here into this and chain 3. So what I'm going to do is just go in this first stitch and pull it through. Make sure I got the whole stitch. Well, it looks like I do. It just kind of separated. Pull it through and chain 3 or chain 2. Chain 2. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to go in one double crochet in each of the first 3 stitches. So this counts as your first one. And in this case, I could have joined on the other side too, and gone from there. And so now I'm going to put a double crochet in here. And then I'm going to the next stitch. I got to get my yarn situated. It's around my scissors, and I just pull off a whole bunch here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a double crochet in the next stitch. So I have 3 singles, one in each one, and then I'm going to skip one. And then I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then you skip one. So that's how it goes. And so go ahead and do that. Do a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, skip one, and then do 3 and then skip one. And I'll meet you back when I get to the end of the row. Okay, so what we've been doing is we've been doing 3 doubles, then skip one, 3 doubles, and then skip one. So what I have left is I did 3 doubles and skip one, and now I have 4 stitches. So what the directions tell you to do is these last 2, we're going to double crochet them together. Okay, so I did my 3. I skipped a space. I did 1. And you can do either one of these 2 together. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1, pull it through, stop. 1, pull it through, and then there we go. So on this end here we have 2 together, and no one is going to notice. If you came out even, good girl. But I'm glad I didn't come out even so I could show you what would happen. Okay, and she shows you in the tutorial what to do if you don't come out with the even amount of stitches. Now you chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. And see how it just started puckering and bringing our towel in. And so what we're going to do is we chain 2, and we're going to skip over to this space. So technically we would be skipping 3 double crochets. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets in this space. So I need 1 more. And then we're going to skip over, no chain, and do 3 double crochets and 3 double crochets and 3 double crochets all the way across into our chain spaces. When we get to the end, we're going to find the top of our chain 2, and we're going to do a double crochet. Meet you back. Okay, I made it all the way across. And in my last space here, I did 3 double crochets, and then on the top of my chain 2, I did a double crochet. So now I'm gonna chain, let me put this down, chain 2 and turn. Now, when I do this, my pattern version I told you was a little different than hers. So in the next row, we're going to do exactly what we just did. We're going to do 3 in each one of these spaces. The next row, we're going to do 2. And the row after that, we're going to do 2. And then we're going to do 2 rows with 1. And what I think she does is she has you do like 3 rows of each one, but I only do 2. So this next row, I'm gonna skip from this double crochet all the way over to this space and put 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so if you're like me, you're probably looking at this and going, ooh, where do I go? Well, we went 3 in this last space. We're going to skip this group and do a double crochet in the top of the chain 2. And you could have always, marked it from the row previously if you needed to with the stitch marker. Okay, so we did 2 rows of 3 double crochets. So now our next row, we're going to double crochet. I got to turn my work. And I'm going to skip over here to the next space, and I'm only going to do 2 double crochets because I don't like my toppers being, real long. So now if you find that you enjoy making these, you could have your friends or neighbors or your relatives pick out and buy the towels they would like. Then have them bring them to you, and you can cut them in half or I'll show you a way that you can do it without having to cut the towel, and you'll have a two-sided towel. But that's way they get the towel that they want, and then they can tell you what color that they would like on the top. And what I normally do is, if someone they're paying me, I charge $5 a towel. Not the whole towel, but each half I charge $5, because I go through the trouble of cutting it and stitching it and pressing it and steaming it and seaming it, and then I take the time to crochet these on, so I charge $5 a towel. And if I buy towels from the dollar store, then I just charge $6 because to get my money back for the towel. Okay, now on the next row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And we're going to do, in this row, we're going to do 2 in each space, just like we just did. And I will meet you back. Okay, I'm back. So I have 2 rows of 2 in each space. So my next row, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. And now I'm going to put one double crochet in each space. And then I'll get over here and do a double crochet in this chain 2 space. So I'll meet you back. I got a double here, and I put a double in each one of these. Okay, I changed my mind. I didn't have 7. I only had 6 when I started. So for this row, I decided I have my double crochet. I'm going to do a double crochet in the top of the next double crochet. I'm going to skip over to the space because I want to have 7. Okay. And so that gives me 3. And then if I go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so I have 3. I'm going to skip these 2. I'm going to go in here because I want 7. I don't want less than 7. So now I got 4. And then I'm going to go over here and do number 5. Oh, I'm sorry if I've been out of the camera, because like I said, if you want to see what my setup looks like. And then I'm going to come over here and go in the top of this double. And then in the top of the chain. So you want to have 7, a minimum of 7. But if you've got, more stitches, that's great too. So I have 2, 4, 6, and 7. So that's how I ended up, okay? Now, if you follow her pattern, she'll have this topper bigger. But I don't really like my toppers bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a chain 2 and double crochet in each of these 7 stitches. And now it's going to be coming up to make my strap for my towel. And what I'll do is I'll do that until I have 7 inches. So we'll just take a look. I'll just give you a general idea on this one. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 11 or 12 rows. And see, then I'm going to take this and I'll have so 11 or 12 rows. Okay. Now, I wanted to tell you what you could do if you didn't want to cut the towel in half, if you wanted to make it, so that the towel is, all in one piece, and you're going to have your flat towel, okay? So picture this, that there's no topper, and that this towel is all one towel, and you don't want to cut it. Okay, so what you would do is you would press the towel and find the center and press it so you have like a crease where the center is, and then you would thread your needle and just go in and out, in and out, in and out, like we did on the top over here, so that you can make a row of those blanket stitches. Then fold your towel in half, okay, and then you would have your blanket stitches across the top. Then just proceed like we did. So you'd have your blanket stitches across, and so just go 1, 2, 3, skip, 1, 2, 3, skip, and then it would bring your towel in, and then just make your topper. So that's how you would make a towel that you don't want to cut in half, because some people like the double thicknesses of the towel versus, just the single towel. Okay, so that's how I would do it. And I don't make a buttonhole on here because I figure that there's enough holes in here. And so I would put my button in and then pull this over and just fish the button through. Now, I wanted to say something about how these wash up. Okay, so the towel is probably some form of cotton. And of course, this is acrylic. Now, you could make these in cotton, but I have a feeling that they would shrink up. The acrylic ones kind of get, I don't know, kind of shrinky too. But normally what I've done with mine when I've washed them is as soon as I get them out of the dryer, I just kind of pull and reshape the acrylic. And of course, over time, it's going to start looking ratty, just like any towel, and it's going to fade and whatever. But I just wanted to give you my tutorial, and I wanted to thank you if you've been watching all 31 days of Kitchen Cotton Month. Thank you guys so much. Bye. Okay, guys, there's our hanging towels for Crochet Kitchen Cotton Month Day 31.